Alright, well, we're back at our career website, and this is the code that I have, as you've probably seen. If you're not familiar with this code, you can go back to the last video and get it. There's the job info page, and then the milestones page, and then our style sheet, which is fairly long because at the bottom, remember to get the background image to work. I had to copy all this code down, not character by character, of course, just copy the link for that image and then pasted it in there. In any case, this is the way that my page shows up. There's being a business owner, my index, my job info, and my milestones. So this is how it looks, and that looks pretty good. We can navigate through the home and the more information stuff, however you want, but I have them opened in these 3 different tabs. So what we need to do on this assignment is go to the index. We're not actually working in job info or milestones for this assignment. All we're going to do is work in the index and the style sheet. So first up, what we want is to put in an image. And from that image, we're going to need a source, which we will find. Hopefully we can find a good one. And then they also want us to put in the alternate text for that source. Now, that's one picture right there, which won't show up on the screen for my index. If I reload, it looks like it's given it a little space for the picture, but it's not showing anything because I haven't actually given the source there, right? But we want 4 of these, so there's one, and then I'm just going to come down here and put 2, 3, 4 of these in, and then as I find the source, I will put in some alternate text. The alternate text is going to give credit to the source that I find it. So again, going back to my page, this is what it shows. It should show the 4 pictures on there. When I find them, they may be kind of large, but all I'm going to do is look for free images of business ownership. Oh, if I can spell ownership correct. Okay, now these are just links to pages, but I'm going to go to images here, and let's see, Shutterstock. If I remember, I wasn't working with this, so I got to go. Let's try iStock right here. So this one right here, I click on it, which shows up here on the right. Oh, see how it's not showing up? Chances are it's not going to show up here. So if I go to my copy the address here and paste it in, it still will not show that image. See how it's blank right there? I do want it to show up. So let's go back. Went to the wrong place here and take this. See if we can find something else. Pixels, yeah, iStock. No, it's not working. How about deposit photos? No. iStock. I wonder if I can go in if it would work. No, that's disappointing. It did work in class. Well, fine. Let's try that then. Let's come here. This is Shutterstock. What happens if I visit the page? Will that give me a little bit more access to the picture? It's taking its sweet time loading. What about, let's try this one. Maybe it will load as well. We already used that one from Shutterstock. Pixels. Here's iStock again. Let's see if these load. I'm just going to load them up because you see here it's taking. Can't be reached. Okay, yeah, these ones. None of these are going to show up. Well, dang it. Hopefully this does not take as long for you, but looks like it definitely is going to for me. But I'm going to find me 4 good pictures, and then we'll start this back up, okay? All right, so here's my first one that I got to work. Again, it's not showing the alternate text, which is what I didn't want. But I did put in the alternate text for the creator and where I got it from. So there's the source. Now we can go to the next one. Hopefully we can find some more. You need these to work, and then you need to give credit in the alternate text right there. So make sure you do that. I'm going to get these 4 done, and then we're going to come back. Alright, these are the 4 photos that I have, and of course we can just go back to the images that were used. I just found them online and then I put them in. So these are 1, 2, 3, 4. The credit was given in the alternate text. So this looks pretty good, and I got all 4 working on my page because I do want them to show up, you guys. If yours don't show up, you don't necessarily need them to show up for credit, but it bothers me if they don't show up, even though there's a watermark, for example, on this one. Okay, so I don't really care about that. I just want them to show up at least. So you got to make sure they're working, and you have to make sure that you have the alternate text on there in case they don't work. Well, from here, now that we have the 4 images on there, what we're going to do next is go to the style sheet. And in the style sheet, I'm going to go to the top here because, well, maybe I'll go to the bottom. It doesn't really matter where you put it, but we're going to give the images some stylings on this. And the images, you can give them whatever styling you want to give them. But we do need, and again, this assignment, the nice thing about the career website, it does give us a lot of freedom to do what we want to do. But to start out, what I'd like to do is give each picture the same size. So I'm going to give them the width. And let's go and make them, I don't know, 225 pixels on this one. Let's see what that looks like. Now again, that's going to make the widths all standard, and it just because we have the width all the same, it's going to make the corresponding height proportional, but we're going to give these also some height. Now, why am I doing this? Just to show you that it doesn't really matter. If you want them to be squares, you'd say 225 pixels, but if you're like, I want them to be more like rectangular shape, again, 250 would work, but I don't care what you put in there. So notice that some of these are skewed now a little bit because of the height, right? This one was wider than it is tall, but since that was the case, since we've made it taller, it's kind of stretched the people out there, and I don't really care about that. But now that we have width and height taken care of, you know what? In fact, I'm just going to show. I really don't want that on there. I like the pictures kind of like as they were, so we're going to make this a note by using the note. Let's see if this works anyways. Reload it. Yeah, see, and that made this line of height the note, and if I wanted to take that away, I could. So whether you want it or not is completely up to you. I don't want the height on there because I don't want them to be squared up. In any case, let's go ahead and give each of them a border style. We want this to show up, so we're going to give them a border style. Give them whatever border you want. I'm going to go with dashed. I think dotted wouldn't really work for a business owner. And let's see how that looks. Well, that didn't show up, did it? Well, let's give it some more styling. Maybe that would make it show up. So let's give it a border dash. Well, maybe a color would work. And what color do we want to give? My colors are pretty bluish, so I think red is going to make these pop a little bit. Well, again, if we could see them, well, let's give it some border dash width, width, and we'll go with 10 pixels on these as well. Is that going to make it show up? Let's see. Okay, well, it may be that note that's causing the problem, so I'm just going to actually take that away completely. See how that changed the colors there? Maybe I wasn't using the proper notation there. There we go. So we have dashed borders for each of the pictures. Let's see. The sizes are different. I'm okay with that, but again, if you wanted the height to be something specific, you're welcome to do that. They can be as big or as small as you want them to be, you guys. But for now, I'm not going to worry about putting in the width. The height. The width, I think, is fine for the pictures that I have. So if that's what you want, then do that. But again, you have a lot of leeway. Do you want the border style to be solid? Maybe you're like, you know what? The dash doesn't look very professional. So you can make it solid if you want to, but remember, you got 4 options: solid, dashed, dotted, and double. So solid, again, maybe you're like, hey, that looks a little bit more professional. Well, then keep it. I really don't care. Well, now that I changed it, I'm going to keep it, even though I really don't care. So either way, that's what I got. And again, here's the code. That's all the code we put in here for the style sheet. So if you need that, now's a good time to pause the video. And then in the index, of course, we had the 4 images that we put in. Let's see if I can include it all in here. and that is all inside of the main semantic tag. But that's the code that we have. I wouldn't try to copy that down character by character because there's a lot of characters. Well, I wouldn't do it because I stink at typing, but if you're good at it, maybe that's okay for you. But I'm going to keep it like it is, and again, if you need that code, really all that we need is the image. Again, it's not going to matter what source you use or what alternate text you put in. You're going to get credit for it. So keep that in mind as you're doing this. But that's all we got for this one, and I think we'll continue the career website again some other time.